the events erupted a few weeks ago in the major cities across the country, we thought Peabody should have some sort of rally, some sort of event. But it's important that we do this work here. We unite as a community to address that, address the need for change. It's long overdue.
I would like for our high school to be changed so that other minorities like myself feel comfortable and safe, because believe it or not, our school isn't what it seems to be, and it needs to be changed, and we're all afraid. We all were afraid to speak up, and I'm speaking up so everyone else can, because it's not right, and things are going to change, because I will make sure that it changes. I will make sure that our community becomes more diverse and that we are accepting of everyone.
We need more love, more unity, to come together, everybody. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, just, love.
I've been doing some research myself and seeing that 30 of the top 50 public earners in Peabody are police officers, making more than the mayor himself, making more than the superintendent, than any principal, any teacher, is mind-blowing to me. That's part of the problem too. It's not just about race. It's about the fact that we fund the police before we fund our communities, and that's happening in Peabody. It's not just happening in Boston or in Minneapolis or in the South, right? This is a problem at home, and I'd definitely like to see him address that at some point in the future.
So I just want to first say thank you for everyone for being here, supporting Peabody for racial justice, equality, and unity, and the Black Lives Matter movement, because, as we all know, we all need to say publicly and loudly, Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter here in Peabody and everywhere. All right, so our first speaker for today that I want to invite is Mayor Betancourt. So thank you, everyone. Give a round of applause.
Well, good afternoon. It is an honor to be here with all of you today as our community again comes together for racial justice, equality, and unity. I want to thank Nick Blaisdell and the other organizers for helping to make this event today possible. Last week's rally at the Courthouse Plaza was both powerful and inspirational. Hundreds turned out to honor the memory of George Floyd and the countless other victims of racial injustice. They came to speak out against a broken system and to speak up for a new way of doing things in our community and communities across America. I want to thank Father John McGinnis, Pastor Joel Anderle, and the other distinguished members here today from the Peabody Clergy and Ministerial Association, who are here representing Peabody's faith community, and I know we'll be hearing from them shortly. And I want to thank all of you who have taken time from your day to make your voice heard at this turning point in our nation's history. Like millions of Americans, and all of you here today, I was disgusted by the brutal murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. It was an affront to our shared sense of justice and compassion for all our fellow human beings. As mayor, I have the unique privilege to speak with dozens of Peabody residents and city employees each day. To a person, they tell me they want our community and our country to do better. We know that racism and oppression, whether from an individual or an institution, has no place in our community, in our country, or in our world. Our entire community must stand together to fight racism and promote social justice. Hundreds stood together in Peabody Square last week, and we come together again today in unity. But this is only the beginning. George Floyd's murder demands to be a rallying cry for our community and communities across America to change. I do not have all the answers, but I am here, and I know many elected officials are here today. We are here to listen, to learn, to engage in important discussions to make these necessary changes. We will learn from what other cities are doing to improve and we will keep going until we are better. And then we will keep at it until we are better still. And we won't stop until this plague of racism, bigotry, injustice, and hatred has been eradicated once and for all. When we stand up for what we believe is right, and we unite to demand real change and real progress, then we are closer to living up to our nation's promise of liberty and justice for all. I am honored to be here with you. I am honored to be here with you all today. I thank you, and I pledge my further commitment to make things better here in our city and across the nation. And I want to now take a moment to introduce Father John McGinnis and Pastor Joel Anderley and our Peabody clergy to come forward for their words.
Thank you, Mayor Betancourt, and thank you also, Nick, and all of you for coming here. It's one thing to organize, and this has been well put together, but thank you for being here to stand up for the human lives that matter, our black brothers and sisters. The Peabody Clergy Association, there are many of us who represent very diverse communities of faith, but we come together believing what the little sign says out there, hold it up, stronger together. And so we are together as men and women of faith in our belief that God has created each and every one of us, that we are a family, and families need to be together. And when somebody hurts in the family, we all hurt. So I'm here just to share a few words. First of all, the greetings, the prayers, and the thoughts and concerns of the Roman Catholic community. I'm the pastor at St. John the Baptist Parish, which is sort of the mother church of the Catholic community here for 150 years. I'm going to also share some words from one of our rabbis, Rabbi Rick Perlman, who can't be here. This is Shabbat, and they're conducting services, but his prayers are with us as well. And then Pastor Joel will say a few words after me. The message I want to share with you is not my own words, but the words of my pastor. The pastor of the Catholic community in Gloucester is Cardinal Sean O'Malley, who was really dedicated his life, beginning in the days when he was a young priest, a friar in Washington, at the time of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., and has worked among the poor and the blacks of our nation, and certainly in our diocese. And his message has been very strong and clear to us. It's a long letter, but I'd just like to read a few of these words and ask you to take them to heart, as I am, as my brothers and sisters in the Catholic community are. He says, the antidote to the poison of racism is community and solidarity. Our faith calls us to leadership in breaking down barriers and standing against injustice. To violate human dignity is to dishonor the presence of Christ in each person. We must uphold the commitments to equal dignity and human rights in all of our institutions of society, in politics, in law, in economy, in education. Our work will not be done until African American men and women and children are treated equally in every aspect of life in our United States. The killing of George Floyd is painful evidence of what is and has been at stake for African Americans. The failure of society, in too many ways, to protect their lives and the lives of their children. The demonstrations and protests that we have seen these days have been calls for justice and heart-wrenching expressions of deep emotional pain from which we cannot turn away. They call us to affirm the inestimable value of every person's life. They call us to foster respect and justice for all people. They call us to uphold and defend the truth that, yes, Black lives matter. I also want to share, thank you. I also want to share with you some words from Rabbi Rick Perlman at Temple near Tamid, who's not able to be here, but a beautiful and simple reflection which kind of calls us to ask ourselves, why are we here? And how is what we're doing here need to continue in our own personal lives, in our lives as a country? He writes, "May this day be a time for reflection. Where have we been in past generations? And what will our future bring to the next generation? May we all be blessed with physical vitality, with justice and equality, as we earn our livelihood and live our lives in peace. May we and our families suffer no misfortune, physical or emotional, as time unfolds. Our attitudes must be positive and our lives purposeful. May we all bring to a time in this world honorable deeds and speak a kind word. May we all be granted the wisdom to pursue life, liberty, and happiness, not only for our community, but for all humankind who live on God's good earth. May our community be enriched by diversity, as neighbors standing for so many various levels of society interact with each other in a true spirit of peace. May our community remain one and indivisible, liberated and honest. And may our leaders be inspired by righteousness and justice, guided by the God of the universe who wants all of us, each and every one of us, no matter what creed, color, religion, or race, or orientation, to live free and safe and in shalom. And let us all say together to that prayer, Amen. At this time, I would like to invite Pastor Joel Anderley, the pastor of Community Covenant Church, to share some words from one of the great leaders of our country, Martin Luther King, and also to gather us in a prayer by the Reverend King.
Just a couple of words of preference. First, let me just also, as Father John did, express my admiration and my utter joy at the fact that young people are making us think. It's you who are young that are reminding us who are supposed to be wise that we need to be rethinking what we thought we knew. The world is not the way it's supposed to be. And young people are reminding us of that. It's not the way it's supposed to be. In an amazing film from the 1980s called Grand Canyon, it's all about the separations that white power creates. There's an amazing scene where a wealthy white guy, leaves a Lakers basketball game late at night. He's driving through a neighborhood which is intentionally designed to be two-dimensionally poor and black. His car breaks down in the middle of the night, and he begins to be fearful. And just as things are about to go wrong, a tow truck driver arrives to help him out. It's a black tow truck driver. And the tow truck driver's played by Danny Glover, and Glover gets out, and he gets his car hooked up, and he says, "This isn't the way it's supposed to be. This neighborhood's not supposed to be scary to you. These people aren't supposed to live like this. We're not supposed to meet. The world is not the way it's supposed to be." Friends, I am a huge fan of Martin Luther King. I want to say that as I get older, as a middle-aged white man, I feel like I have less and less to say, and I want to dig deeper and deeper into the wise folks that came before me. One of the things that King did that is often underreported is that King spent some time criticizing white leadership. If you've not read it, I encourage you to read Martin Luther King's A Letter from Birmingham Jail. I'm going to read you a few small pieces of this. By King's own admission, it's the longest letter he ever wrote. He had been arrested on stupid, trumped-up charges for essentially protesting as black, and was thrown in prison over Easter weekend. Keep in mind, King was a minister and was supposed to be preaching that weekend. Left in jail all weekend long, over the Holy Weekend, and wrote this letter. The reason he wrote the letter was that a series of white and even black status quo pastors had written a letter to the editor in Birmingham saying, you know what, we're troubled by this racial unrest. These folks have to slow down, calm down. Everything will be okay. And King's response is, you know what? Justice defers, justice denied. And his response in this amazing letter reads like this. Moreover, I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with a narrow, provincial, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives in the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere in this country. Writing to predominantly whites, he writes, "You deplore these demonstrations that are presently taking place in Birmingham. But I'm sorry that your statement did not express a similar concern for the conditions that brought the demonstrations into being. I'm sure that each of you would want to go beyond the superficial social analyst who looks merely at effects and does not grapple with underlying causes. I would not hesitate to say that it is unfortunate that the white power structure of this city left the Negro community with no other alternative." Brilliance from Martin Luther King. Friends, as I wrap, I'd like to offer a prayer that King prayed in his home church of Ebenezer Baptist in Atlanta, Georgia. I invite you to pray with me and allow these words of King to be our words. Most gracious and all-wise God, before whose face the generations rise and fall, Thou in whom we live and move and have our being, we thank Thee for all Thy good and gracious gifts, for life and health, for food and raiment, for the beauties of nature and human nature. We come before Thee painfully aware of our inadequacies and our shortcomings. We realize that we stand surrounded with the mountains of love, and we deliberately dwell in the valley of hate. We stand amid the forces of truth and deliberately lie. We are forever offered the high road, and yet we choose to travel the low road. For these sins, O God, forgive us. Break the spell of that which binds our minds. Purify our hearts that we may see Thee. O God, in these turbulent days when fear and doubt are mounting high, give us broad visions, penetrating eyes, and power of endurance. Help us to work with renewed vigor for a warless world, for a better distribution of wealth, and for a brother-sisterhood that transcends race or color. In the name and spirit of Jesus we pray. Amen. May it be so.
Hello, everyone. Before I introduce some of the community speakers, we have a community member here who has something to say. You ready? Awesome. Thank you. All right. For our first community speaker, I'd like to introduce Adrian Capiro. All right, let's give Adrian a round of applause, everyone.
How you guys doing? Just bear with me. I'm not really good at this. I might get emotional. I wanted to first talk about the first time I was exposed to police brutality, because in my opinion, I never saw it. My parents were good at not showing me that side of America. But the first time I saw it was with a young man named Trayvon Martin. And that story touched me particularly because he was around the same age as me. And you just, you know, I thought to myself after that young man was shot and killed, and I was like, could this be me? Could this be my brother? Could this be my cousin? Could this be my friend? I didn't know how to make sense of it. I kept thinking to myself, and I was sobbing, and I couldn't put my finger on it why an unarmed black male was shot down in the street. Because he had a hood on? Because of the color of his skin? I don't have a hateful bone in my body. I always spread love and positivity, and that's why I'm up here today. As you can see, I brought my brothers with me. I mean, just look at him. It doesn't matter that he's white, that he's Brazilian. These are still my brothers. And that's basically what I try to preach to everybody I know. This isn't a fight against police. This isn't a fight against the looters who take away from the message of this whole thing. This is a fight against racism. So, I think we should, also a piece of advice to all the young people out there. Again, this whole thing misconstrued. It's not F for the police, it's not cops are bad, it's not all that. Stop generalizing. Because that's what they do to black people, they generalize. Once you start generalizing, you will cause problems. It's just that plain simple. I wanted to conclude my speech with a poem. I actually left my phone over there, but yeah, it's the other one. So this is a poem by Langston Hughes. It's called I Too Sing America. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am American. God bless.
So, I'd like to introduce our second speaker, Ariana Duran from Peabody High.
First, I want to thank everybody who came today. It really means a lot to the Black community and the community of the diversity in Peabody. I'm Ariana and I'm a student at Peabody High. I'm speaking on behalf of the minority group at Peabody High so that we all can have confidence to speak up, so that we all can feel safe. I feel that we need to tackle our community first so then that we can tackle our state. And then from there on, we can tackle the rest of the country. The first place we need to raise awareness and concern for is our own high school. When I was 14, I moved to Peabody at the end of 8th grade. I used to live in Florida where there was a lot of diversity. When I moved out here, it was hard for me to relate to others and feel comfortable. My freshman year of high school, I was sitting down at lunch when a white student called me a spig. I didn't know what it meant, so I asked, and they replied with, "That's what you are." They were referring to my ethnicity. As you may know, a spig is a racial slur pertaining to Hispanics. I never once heard of such a thing living in Florida. Racism was never a big issue when I attended school. Sadly, that wasn't the only incident that happened to me or other people of color or minorities in Peabody High. Our own teachers participate in ignorant and racist activities. Once a teacher mocked another teacher's accent. Another teacher told a fellow club member of mine to go back where she came from. A security guard told my friend's mother, who is Hispanic, "You people can't follow rules." A student in a classroom setting kept saying racial slurs and the substitute did nothing about it. Doesn't that say a lot about what's going on? The list goes on and on, but it is time that we put an end to that list. It is time that we make this school a safe environment for us. Is this school supposed to be a safe place for us? Well, newsflash, my school isn't. My school needs change. Black lives matter in my school, so let's make it feel that way. People of color leave our school because white classmates make fun of their accents. Our school is declining in enrollment rates. Isn't that sad? People of color in our school are afraid to join certain sport teams because majority of the members are white and they seem like they don't feel comfortable because they're picked over us. It's time for all of us as a community to better our school for our upcoming leaders in this generation. Do you guys feel comfortable with racist leaders? Do you guys feel comfortable with an uneducated, ignorant individual as a leader? Because I don't, and neither does any person of color in my school. As a minority attending Peabody High, I have had enough. We have had enough. And we will make change. But we need your help. Because we are sick and tired of having pain in our hearts, looking at one another being shot, or looking at one another being judged because of the color of our skin. Why can't we all be sisters and brothers? Why can't we all be family? Why can't we all love each other like we love our parents, like we love our family, like we love people close to us? We are all humans. We were all made the same. And we were all put here on earth to stand together and make our community feel like a safe environment. And that we feel safe to hold each other's hands. It's not black against white. It is racism against everything. And the question is, will you guys as a community help us achieve that? Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to introduce Gigi Rodriguez. Let's give Gigi a round of applause.
So, some of you may know me from the protest we had in our city last time. I did speak, and I'm here to give a little background and to basically spread some love, because there's a lot of negativity in the air right now with everything going on. So I'm going to start off with a little background information about me. I am a 16-year-old mixed child. My mother, she is Hispanic. She's Puerto Rican. My father, he's black. So as you can see, I am personally hurt by what is going on in the world. I also go to Peabody High, and like Ari made it known, we have a lot of inequality there. But that is not what I'm speaking on today. Like I mentioned before, growing up, I suffered with a lot of racial injustice. I was never treated equal, and we need to make that a change. We need to change that. A lot of people tell me, you're too young to know what's right and wrong. You're too young, you'll change your opinions, you'll change your views on the world. But when you've been through, when you've seen, when you've witnessed and experienced all the unjust racial acts, all the unfairness, you are never too young to know what is right and what is wrong. A year ago, I was diagnosed with anxiety, so as you can imagine, this is very, very hard for me to do. But I am still here because I stand with my people. And no amount of anxiety is going to stop me from fighting for what's right. Not just for me, not just for everybody else, not just for me, but for everybody out there. Because I'm not the only one suffering it. Plenty of children are out here growing up in fear, and that should not be the case. A lot of people say that all lives matter. And you are right, yes, all lives matter, but that is not the case. That is not the main focus right now. Black lives are being targeted. So let me give you a scenario. You're sleeping at night. You wake up to a sudden heat. Your house is on fire. You don't have a phone, so you can't call the fire department. So you run over across the street. You ask your neighbor, help. My house is on fire, I don't know what to do. And they respond with, my house matters too. How would you feel? Tell me, how would you feel? Bad, right? You'd feel bad, right? Exactly. That is how some of us feel when we are told that all lives matter. We know all lives matter, but like I said before, not all lives will matter until Black lives matter. Now, I just recently learned this. The youngest Black death sentence in America was a 14-year-old boy back in 1944. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He was accused of killing 2 little girls, aged 11 and 7. He got the death sentence by electric chair. Years later, they found that he was not guilty. If you don't see the issue in that, you need to rethink it, because you are part of the issue. If you do not see why this is so wrong, you need to rethink, because this has happened for many, many years, and enough is enough. We need a change. We need to spread love, not hate. I see a lot of videos out there of protests going on all around the world. People protesting that Black Lives Matter, that there needs to be a change, and I see a lot of dancing, I see a lot of singing, I see a lot of love being shared. And I really want that to be the case everywhere. I don't want to see people being hurt. I don't want to see innocent people being shut down. I don't want to see the negativity anymore, because there is no need for it at all. There really is no need for it. So if I'm going to leave you guys with something today, I want you to go out. After you leave, I want you to go out. Text that person that has been on your mind. Text your family members. Text your friends. Go out to a random person. Give them a smile. And tell them that it's going to be okay. No matter what they're going through, tell them it's going to be okay. We are here with you. Because we need to spread love. There's no room for hate anymore. Because this is a time of change. So if I'm going to leave you guys with something, it is to please, please spread love. Stop being negative. I see all of you here today, and it warms my heart. I thank you all for coming out here, because I see everybody. I see Black, I see white, I see Hispanic, I see everybody here, and it warms my heart to know that my community is with me. Thank you.
Up next for community speakers, we have Andrew here. I'd like everyone to give Andrew a round of applause. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives.
All right, everybody's here, and look around you first of all. I'm just gonna try to combine all the speeches at once. but past my other talkers here. So Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream that one day black kids, white kids will be living with each other and playing along with each other." And if you look around right now, that dream came true, correct? Correct? So, this is another dream that we can accomplish. If he said he had a dream that everybody would be living with each other, let's have a dream that racism is 100% gone. Let's have a dream that police is taking care of us rather than hurting us. Now, a little bit about myself. My name is Andrew Santondo. I've been living here in Peabody since I was in middle school. And throughout the come up through middle school and high school, I never really saw any type of racial injustice because my brother just spoke actually earlier. We and my family, they kind of protected us from that, and it's 100% fine. It was meant to be like, hey, listen, the world out there is scary. Let's not talk about it for now, and let's just put you in this little bubble. And it makes sense. And some of you guys have kids like that, have kids right now, and you want to protect them from the world and all the things that they see. But in today's times have changed. Kids have iPhones, computers, and can get access to a lot of information even faster. And information can even be distributed faster. So, with that said, lots of racism things and acts are happening even bigger than ever. It's our job, and I believe it starts in the home. A mother told me this earlier today. It starts in the home. If we can teach our family members and so on and so forth what is that we're going through and talk about what we are going through, we can take it on the outside and help each other and help our neighbors. So I'm also an artist, and Peabody is always like the one spot that has inspired my artistry, from music, from dance. The very first time I ever performed was at the International Festival in like 2009 with my dance crew. And to tell you the truth, that was the first like dance crew in Peabody. And I was very proud of that. But at the same time, I was like, why am I the person starting this? It should have happened a long time ago. And that just shows us like this many steps that we have to take to try to diversitize our community. So, if I want to leave everybody with something, I'm going to leave you with two things. I'm going to leave you with a poem, and I'm also going to leave you with 3 actions that you can take. First thing is learn. Learn, 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 learn. Learn about your neighbors. Learn about the people that you see. Ask them questions. Hey, how are you? How's mom and dad? Oh, you're going to a barbecue? All of that. Learn. This is the crucial time to do it. Learn from everybody that you see. Forget about the media that you be seeing on the internet and whatever. That's clouding your judgment. Talk to real people. Learn from them. Second thing, let's organize. We organize this whole entire event to bring you awareness about Black Lives Matter. We can do more, and we will do more. And this is not just because you came to a protest. This is just, don't think it's racism is gonna leave like tomorrow. But this is a step forward to helping find out the issues or solving the issues that are in our community. So let's organize. If you have an idea to help a certain issue, let's do it. Let's sit down. Let's make our own little community, little meetings. If you have a neighborhood that you feel like there's something going on, talk to your neighbors. Have a talk. Have a talk about it and organize around it. And you will see change if you talk about a certain issue and we figure out the problem, and then you will get the solution. And the last thing is vote, people. We're all here. If you're here today, you just made a commitment that you're going to be voting. 100%, am I right? So, we're going to repeat these. Learn, organize, vote. Learn, organize, vote.
Learn, organize, vote.
Learn, organize, and
Vote.
good. And the last thing I want to say is a poem that I wrote. It's actually part of a song, but it's called Dream, and it starts, let me cry for you, because I know you're trying to beat all of the rest. Let me cry for you, because I know you're trying to beat all of the rest, and the pain hurts, hell yeah, I feel it too. Segregation don't bring us nations, it's time fading, car racing, mile racing, pit stop. Let me think about it. We've been living in a dream, what you think about that? So awake to see all the lights, to stop all the fights, to drop all the mics, to be king is like a legend, a light. I've been living in a dream, you've been living in a dream. I can feel it too, I can see it too. We've been living in a dream, do you even have a clue? Martin Luther King, your dream is a piece of art. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've been living in a dream, in a dream, in a dream, in a dream. Picture perfect so vividly like a picture screen. I can see you touch it. It's better than an HD, let me hear you shout it. It's better than an HD, let me hear you shout it. High definition, man on a mission. Trying to show you a piece of the heavens. Trying to get you what you've been missing. That's time to show you I can see it. The dreams are winning. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Thank you very much. And also, guys, follow the love movement. Go on Instagram, type in LOV movement 2020, and I'm selling merch, and all the proceeds are going to be going towards all the Black Lives Matters donations and so on and so forth. And we're even going to try to bring it into our own community here, and we're going to try to do something better for everybody. So thank you very much for your time, and yeah.
All right, and for our last community speaker, I'd like to invite Cynthia to the podium, I guess, this microphone. Let's give Cynthia a round of applause, everyone.
Hey y'all. First of all, I just want to say I love black people. I ain't never met a group happier people, and y'all give me strength. I first want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you specifically to Nick for gathering us here today. Thank you to Heidi for bringing us together last weekend. And thank you to anybody who brings us together every other weekend after this, because we're not done. My name is Cynthia Roki, and I've been a member of the Peabody community for 17 years. There's not a lot of people in this city that look like me, but you don't have to look like me to fight for racial injustice or fight against racial injustice. You know. Today I'm tired. The past few weeks have been full of turmoil and a sea of emotions, the first of which was avoidance. I can admit that I wanted to duck my head and wait for this all to pass over, but I quickly realized that that's not an option, so avoidance turned into a deep pain and a heavy heart. I remember scrolling through Instagram and Twitter and crying as I continued. Sadness turned to anger and then numbness. Now I'm tired. But but our work is not done. This is only the beginning, and this fight will require endurance, perseverance, and fortitude. The wildest part is that it's not just the youth of this country speaking out. Across the globe, rallies and protests, people are flooding the streets to support and fight for Black lives. Some are opposed to these gatherings due to the pandemic also sweeping the globe. They want to go to church and hold graduations and other weddings, things like that. But life will proceed as normal later on. Life will resume. And businesses have already pushed to open early. However, countless innocent Black lives will not resume after the pandemic is over. We're not out here for fun. Yes, you should take care of each other and share joy when we can, but the acts of racial injustice against the Black community have been occurring for far too long. It seems like it's the same story, different name, different state, over and over again. It seems that every day we stay silent and another Black life is lost to senseless violence, and this is not a fight that started today, or yesterday, or when Derek murdered George Floyd, an unarmed Black man, by kneeling on his neck for almost 9 minutes while Floyd laid handcuffed face down in the street. Nobody deserves to die like that. Being Black in this country is not an easy experience, and it's not a comfortable one. It's not a fair one. I asked a group of my peers how they felt around police officers, and as a response, I received uneasy, uncomfortable, terrified, monitored, unsafe. That's a problem. And I believe it can be fixed by two things: legislative change and you, the people of this country and probably the world. We are the problem. When we stay silent, we're not helping. When we do nothing, we're not helping. You don't have to do everything, but please do something. Have that hard conversation. Check your uncle on Facebook. Check in on your Black friends. Take care and restore yourself. Keep going to rallies and protests. Keep fighting. We cannot stop. We will not stop until we see change. I've brought some good news in these trying times. The mayor of Boston has declared that systematic racism is a public health crisis. As a result, the city is reallocating millions of dollars from the police, Boston Police, and they're putting it towards the Boston Public Health Commission. These are the kinds of change that we're looking for, and it's comforting in the sense that it's occurring so close to home. White people, if you're uncomfortable, please stay uncomfortable. Ask yourself why you're uncomfortable. Explore that discomfort and educate yourself. If you're white, I have no other way of saying this, understand your privilege. You can do so many things that Black people cannot. You can be and feel safe in places that Black people cannot. You can wear a hoodie in public. You can reach for your wallet. You can breathe. I would like to end with a spoken word piece that I wrote earlier this year during Black History Month. It's untitled. Seeing beauty in my Black body, in my elegant frame and silhouette, an outsider who tries to see in, a view obstructed by this skin, this heart, weary and caged by ribs it suffers, from frantic clinging to chaotic lovers. We are not so different from each other, yet this world promised doom for my color. When my turn comes to break through glass ceilings, will I still be burdened with these unjust feelings? When my body, my being, my essence is leaving, I hope that I am ascending, not fleeing. Thank you.
Okay, to conclude our event, well, before I get to that, first I want to thank all the speakers and everyone who's been here today. Yeah, thank you so much. It's really brought everyone together. But to conclude our event, I'd like to invite the speakers back up to the stage, I guess, if you will. And we're going to hold a moment of silence for the life of George Floyd.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives! Black Lives! Black Lives! Black Lives! No
going to start the timer for the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that Derek Chauvin put his kneel. He kneeled on George Floyd's neck until he. All right. So I invite everyone to kneel with us in the moment of silence and solidarity. I'll start the timer. All right, started. Now that was 8 minutes and 46 seconds. If that felt like too long of a time to be kneeling, that's because it was. It was too long of a time to be kneeling on someone's neck. I just want to thank everyone for being here. And I invite all of us to continue thinking about what some of the further action we can take as a community to start rectifying the 400 years or more of injustice to people of color in the United States. Again, I just want to thank everyone for being here. And Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!